Parvati, the Hindu princess in the Himalayas we talked about several sessions ago, who was madly in love with the god Shiva. Well, Parvati was an adolescent girl, and we often think of amour, romantic love, being an adolescent crush, and many of the criticisms of it say, oh, that's this fleeting, it's kind of an empty, fluffy, it's wonderful with the bells going off and the fireworks. But as adults, we grow beyond that. We discover a more solid, a more lasting love. So we tend to put this down as an adolescent phenomenon, but what we overlook is the power of that waterfall. And Parvati surrendered herself to this obsession. Okay, that's another scary word that is associated with romantic love. All these issues of obsession and stalking and all these things that scare people, rightfully so. Sometimes there are good obsessions. Parvati had a good obsession because of her surrender to this adolescent crush, this obsession with the god Shiva. She knew it was not an adolescent crush. She knew that this was divinely channeled through her and that she could save the planet by drawing the god Shiva to her and producing a son who would be the world's savior. That was the prophecy, and she fulfilled that prophecy through this crazy vision, this crazy itch that the source sent to her and used her as its vessel, as its agent. And by yielding to this, she produced a savior from the tyrant. We talked earlier about the spirit in Genesis before there was even light. All was dark and void. Well, this spirit was obsessed with the face of the waters. It was brooding, the Bible tells us, brooding over the face. The obsession led to the spark, pulled the spark, let there be light, and being burst out of non-being. But as we saw with Parvati, her undoing in society's eyes out of her obsession, where she was meditating all day in the scorching sun, and this beautiful young girl, her hair becomes filthy and matted, and her beautiful, tender skin grows leathery. And everyone in her community says, she's come undone. She was so charming and so beautiful, and she lived in a palace, and she had everything to live for. And look at her now, she's just wasted herself out of this obsession and this impossible dream for this God who will never, ever come to her in love. So yes, she became undone, yet she was right. The God did come to her. Her impossible dream was made possible because of the power of the cabaret that she generated, the power of the force field that magnetically drew the source's favor to her, where all things are possible. And that which the prudent, sensible, reasonable people in the community, with their limited view of the world, to them it is beyond the pale. All they can see is the coming undone, this throwing your life away in pursuit of this crazy, outrageous, impossible dream.